I want you to picture a small living room. Afternoon light. 2 envelopes on my coffee table. A brown notebook beside them. That notebook holds dates, times, receipts, and screenshots. Those envelopes hold what ends a lie without a single shout. People think pain arrives like a knife. Mine came like a slow drip. Every day for almost 2 years, a little more poison in my tea. I welcomed a sick cousin into my home. I cooked for her. I held her baby. I said, "Rest. Your family. If you stay with me, I will show you exactly how a woman my age, who sold pies for 45 years and kept her peace, turned proof into justice." No screaming. No plates thrown. A living room courtroom. 2 choices on paper. A clean ending. Before we step into that day, I need to show you the life that made the lie possible. Because you cannot feel a crack unless you know how quiet the house was before it broke. My days were simple. I woke at 5. I rolled pie dough while the kettle sang. By 7, trays were cooling on the counter. Sweet apple with raisins, and a savory beef pie the men at the site liked on Fridays. At 8, I pushed my cart to the corner by the market. Folks in our part of Phoenix knew me by name. They'd ask for the usual, and I'd wrap the pie in brown paper and tuck in a smile. By 2, I was home. I swept the porch. I folded towels. I set out plates for when my husband came back from construction. He is a man of routine. Scrambled eggs. News at 6. A short walk. On Sundays, church at 7 in the morning and a visit to his mother. It was not a movie life. It was a good, quiet one. After 50 years of marriage, quiet can feel like love because it has no sharp corners. We never had children. We carried that grief like a stone we didn't talk about. Sometimes I'd hold a neighbor's baby and feel both full and empty. Then I'd wash my hands and get back to dough. Work is a kind of prayer. This is the life a lie loves to enter. It looks for a careful woman who believes the best, who will open the door without checking the name. And one Tuesday in March, I opened mine. He sat at the kitchen table too early for a workday. His face was tight. "Elena," he said, "I need your help. A cousin in trouble, divorce, no home, health problems. She just needs a place to rest." "Of course," I said. "Family is family." We cleaned the spare room, the one with the extra blankets and my pie boxes stacked in the corner. He even brought flowers for the window. That should have told me something. My husband is not a flower man. She arrived on a Thursday evening, thin, pale, hair pulled back. Soft voice. "Thank you, ma'am," she said. "I won't be a bother." "You're safe here," I told her. "Rest, eat. You'll get strong again." At first, I felt glad to care for someone. The house had been quiet for so long. I made broth and chamomile tea. I placed clean towels on her bed. She ate little and spoke less, but the air shifted. Not at once, like weather turning slow. He started coming home with small gifts that cheered her up. New magazines. A fancy shampoo. Chocolates she said she couldn't keep down but kept. He began to wear a cologne I didn't recognize. A new shirt every other week. Fresh haircuts. "We should look presentable," he said, "now that we have a guest." She slept late. He checked on her first thing. When I passed their door, I would hear quiet talk, then quiet again. When I entered a room, 2 smiles would freeze. If you've ever felt yourself turn into a guest in your own home, you know that cold. It starts in the stomach and moves to the hands. I kept telling myself stories that made it all feel harmless. She is sick. He is kind. I am lucky. But stories don't change facts. And facts were piling up whether I wrote them or not. One night he said, her doctor wants certain teas for her thyroid. "Could you make them?" "You're good at this." I made every tea I knew. Later, my friend at the market told me those same teas help with morning sickness. I looked at the girl closer after that. She had more color. She ate at odd hours. She craved pickles with ice cream and laughed at herself. I asked if she was pregnant. She cried hard and said no. I wanted to believe her. Belief is a soft bed when you're tired. I lay in it a little longer. Still, I moved my brown notebook from the pie drawer to the living room. I wasn't ready to write in it yet, but I set it there, like a seat saved for truth. The change didn't arrive like thunder. It came like dust that settles where you don't look. I started writing in my brown notebook. Small things first. Dates, times, what he bought, what she wore. April 5th. He came home with diapers no one asked for. Said the baby deserved the best, though there was no baby in our house yet. April 10th, I returned early. Found them on the couch, talking too softly. When I stepped in, the room turned into a photograph, still polite, empty of sound. April 15th. He stroked her hair when he thought I wasn't watching. The kind of touch a cousin doesn't give. I wrote without anger, just facts. I photographed receipts with my old phone. I took a picture of a new cologne bottle on his dresser. I wrote down the brand and price at nights were the worst. The house sounded different. A door that used to close now stayed open. A laugh that used to be mine in the kitchen moved down the hall. One evening, near midnight, I heard the tiniest clink of a spoon. I found her by the sink, eating peanut butter and jelly on toast. She smiled like a child caught with a cookie. I made tea. We talked. "Do you ever wish you had a baby?" she asked. I swallowed hard and told her the truth. "Yes, I wished it for years." She stared at the cup. Sometimes life doesn't go the way we plan. When a lie walks through your house, it learns your steps. It learns how to place a chair back the way you like it, how to fold a towel like you do, how to laugh at your husband's old jokes. It tries to look like home. I decided then, if there was a truth, I would find it in daylight. Not with shouts. With paper. Paper never raises its voice. It just sits there and waits for you to read it. The proof did not fall from the sky. I reached for it with shaking hands. One night I woke for water and heard two voices through a half-closed door. Her voice, "We can't keep this up. It's unfair to her." His voice, "I know, not yet. Give me time." Then a whisper I wish I didn't hear. "The baby looks more like you every day." I stood in the hallway, holding my breath like it could hold up the ceiling. The next afternoon when they were out, she for a walk, he at work, I opened the drawer I had never touched. I was not proud. I was desperate. There were photographs. Arms around waists. Kisses in parking lots. One picture with a small round belly and his hand resting on it like a blessing he never gave me. There were hospital papers. Birth forms. On the line for father, a blank. There was a paternity acknowledgement form. Filled out, never filed, with his full name. My husband's name in a stranger's handwriting. People say your heart breaks. Mine folded in on itself, like a dress that's finished its work. I sat on the bed and forgot to breathe. When I finally stood, I put everything back exactly where it had been. Then I washed my face. I made the bed. I laid my notebook on the table and wrote the truth in 3 words. It is real. That night, he kissed my cheek. I tasted metal. I went to bed beside him and stared at the ceiling until dawn, and somewhere in those hours I understood something important. I had lived 50 years as a careful woman. Now I would live one day as a brave one. Rage can make a mess. Paper makes a path. I started with copies. Photos, messages, forms, scanned with my old phone and printed at the shop by the market. I made a timeline. The call about a cousin, the move-in, the gifts, the new shirts, the doctor teas, the midnight toast, the overheard sentence. I took the folder to a lawyer in a small office near the spice stall. He did not treat me like a foolish old woman. He read, he asked clear questions, and he spoke to me with respect. He said words like fraud and breach of trust and marital estate. He explained options. I listened. I took notes. When I left, I felt taller. Back home, I arranged my living room. If a lie could live in my house, truth could stand there too. On the coffee table, the receipt stack, photos, prints, the paternity form. Beside it, the choice stack, 2 simple options typed in big letters, with a notary time already booked. Option A, legal route, lawsuits, property division, public filings. Option B, sign and leave. He waives rights to the house and accounts. He repays my expenses from the last 2 years. They both write apology letters I can share with whom I choose. No church scene. No shouting in the street. Just honesty in daylight. I put each set into an envelope. I labeled them in pencil, A and B. I placed my brown notebook next to them and set 3 chairs facing the table. In the mirror, I practiced one line until my voice did not shake. Sit down. We are going to talk like adults. They came home smiling, a bag of toys in his hand, the baby asleep on her shoulder. The key turned like any other day. Sit, please, I said, and even I heard the new steel in my voice. They sat. She held the baby tighter. He forced a smile. I did not scream. I did not cry. I slid the receipt stack across the table. Start here, I said. Then we will choose. He reached first. He always reached first. He flipped through the photos, the prints, the form. His mouth opened and closed like a small door in the wind. She began to cry the soft way, careful not to wake the baby. I don't need your explanations, I said. I need your signatures. I opened the choice stack and read each line out loud. If you choose A, I will see you in court. I have counsel. I have time. I have a quiet life and patience. If you choose B, you will sign tomorrow at noon. You will return your keys. You will leave my house, and you will pay what I spent when I cared for your lie. He tried old tricks. We can fix this. The kind of promise you offer when your pockets are empty of truth. I lifted a hand. This is not a debate. This is a decision. I gave them a deadline. You have until morning. The notary expects us at 12. Then I stood. Dinner is on the stove. Eat if you wish. I have phone calls to make. I walked into my room and shut the door, and on the other side I pressed both palms to the wood and shook, not with fear, but with the weight of finally being the person I needed. Justice is not revenge. Justice is truth spoken in the right places. At 8 the next morning, I visited his mother first. I told her everything. She cried like a strong tree in a sudden storm. She held my hands and said, "You are not alone." Then I went to the church. I did not ask for a microphone. I asked for guidance. The priest's eyes were kind. "Forgive to free your heart," he said, "but protect your life with wisdom." I nodded. My forgiveness would be quiet and slow. My protection would be today. At the market, I told my friend who knows every price of every pepper and every secret of every husband. I told the butcher who always saved me the good cut. I told the women who have watched me push a pie cart in the heat for 45 years. They did not give me gossip. They gave me community. Before supper, I took a bus to the site where my husband liked to tell stories about how hard he worked. The foreman gathered the men. I spoke plainly. "No one needs to fight," I said. "I want only this, the truth to be known." They looked at one another with the faces of men who have made mistakes and men who are trying not to. One said, "Ma'am, we hear you." By the time I came home, the house was quiet. A neat stack of suitcases sat by the door. On the table, the choice stack lay open to B. We stood in a small office that smelled like paper and lemon cleaner. The notary looked at our IDs and slid forms across the desk. He signed, she signed. I signed last, because I wanted to be the one who closed the door. On the walk back, no one spoke. At my gate, he handed me the keys. She asked if I wanted to hold the baby one last time. I looked at the tiny face I had kissed 1,000 times. "Grow up honest," I whispered. "Grow up brave." Inside, I placed both envelopes in the top drawer of the sideboard. A different kind of keepsake. The living room felt bigger, not because they were gone, but because I could finally breathe all the air in it. I boiled water for tea and washed 2 cups I would not need again. Then I sat in my chair and looked at my hands. They were not shaking anymore. People think freedom is loud. Mine arrived like a soft morning. I cleaned the back room until it smelled like soap and lemons. I opened the window and let out the last of the lies. Then I turned that room into mine. A sewing machine on the table. A shelf for books I had never let myself buy. A chair that fit my back just right. I made a Sunday rule: no pies, no chores. On Sundays, I rest. I read. I take the long way to the park and back. At the market, customers bought more than they needed and less than they wanted. They bought because they saw me stand up straight. My sister called from Denver. "Come," she said. "Just come." I did. I took a bus alone for the first time in my life. She fed me soup and showed me mountains. We talked like girls again, and then like women who know the price of peace. I joined an embroidery class at the community center. My stitches were crooked at first. Then they softened into flowers. At the library, I got a card with my name on it. I checked out 3 novels, a cookbook, and a book about women who started again at 60. One night, I sat in my sewing chair and felt something new and old at once. Not joy like a holiday, not relief like finishing a shift. It was steady, quiet, mine. You do not know who you are until the past knocks on your future. I was choosing chilies at the market when I saw them. Him pushing the stroller, her thinner and pale. We were 3 people under bright lights with no shadows left. He walked over, voice small. "Elena, can we talk?" "You may speak," I said. He tried the door called nostalgia. "We had 50 years. I did not step inside. "We had a story," I said. "This is the last chapter of it." He tried the door called mistake. I was confused. "We had problems. Maybe we can fix—" "No," I said, gentle like I say no to a second slice to a man with sugar in his blood. "I am not angry. I am finished." He looked like a man who found out the wind does not care about his plans. She stood 2 steps back, holding the stroller with both hands. I turned to her. "Raise her honest," I said. "Raise her brave." I paid for my chilies and walked home feeling taller than the sun. Not because I won, because I did not lose myself. Chapter 12. Reflection and CTIF. You are listening with a hurt in your chest. Hear me. It is never too late to rescue your life. I used to think strength was loud. Now I know strength can pour tea, fold laundry, and still say no when no is the truth. I forgave them slowly, for me, not for them. Forgiveness is not a door back into the house. It is a window you open so your own air stays clean. I kept the 2 envelopes. Sometimes I touch them the way you touch a scar that healed well, proof that a wound can close without a trace of infection, only a line to remind you who you are. I am 70 now. I sell pies because I like the smell. I read books because the world is bigger than my street. I sit in my sewing chair and stitch small flowers into napkins I will give to women who invite me to their new lives. If this story found you at the kitchen table or on a bus ride or late at night with your own notebook nearby, I want to ask you something. What would you have chosen? Option A or option B? Have you ever turned kindness into a boundary that saved your life? Tell me in the comments. Your words might push another woman 1 inch closer to her own door. If you want more true stories told with respect and calm, subscribe. We post new stories on Sundays. Bring your tea. Bring your courage. We will sit together and breathe in the truth.